Hey, I'm Amanda from Trifecta Fitness. We're proud to be Clarksville's new Get Fit headquarters. Trifecta Fitness is a state-of-the-art spin and strength training studio. Our spin studio is truly one of a kind in this area, complete with 20 state-of-the-art live fitness bikes and an incredible sound system. Our strength training is done in small groups of 6 or fewer, and all of our strength and spin classes are scalable for every level of experience. Come see us in the heart of Clarksville, just behind MAPCO at the corner of Old Trenton Road and Wilma Rudolph Boulevard. Call us for more info at 931-542-6265 or download our Trifecta Fitness app for a full list of upcoming classes.
Hello, my name is Damon Friedman, co-founder and president of SOF Missions. As a 20-year veteran within Special Operations, I've gone through many challenges due to my military service and time in combat. We felt called to start SOF Missions to serve our fellow brothers and sisters in arms, focusing on suicide prevention and resiliency. Our mission at SOF Missions is to empower warriors to find purpose and be resilient. Since 2011, when we started the organization, almost 3 million men and women have deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan. Unfortunately, the scars of war take a toll on their psychological, physical, social, and spiritual health. Many veterans feel a sense of hopelessness and a loss of purpose when they return to civilian life. They feel isolated and alone, unable to reconnect. And in the greatest of tragedies, over 20 veterans lose all hope and take their own lives. Our goal at SOF Missions is to provide veterans the tools and resources so that they don't become a statistic. We offer a unique approach to combating veteran suicide through a whole health, intradisciplinary model. The Be Resilient program is a 4-pillar methodology that addresses the areas of psychological, physical, social, and spiritual wellness. We provide care through 3 delivery methods: medical clinics, retreats, and educational training. Since we started back in 2011, we have been able to reach veterans in all 50 states and have served over 3,000 veterans through the Be Resilient program. Being resilient is a multifaceted and complex issue. We know that to find a lasting solution, we have to address the whole warrior. Many challenges cannot be solved by providing the treatments and modalities of just one component, but by tackling them all. Now, we've expanded our services to include law enforcement and first responders. Together, we can make a lasting impact in the lives of warriors across the nation. To learn more, visit our website at sofmissions.org.
Proceed to your post assignment. All units proceed to your post assignment.
All right. Welcome back.
Misfit Nation. The Misfit Nation show.
We are a show founded by a veteran and hosted by 2 veterans and a military spouse. Our mission is to get people to tell their stories to the world. If you're an author, share your tips with the Misfit Nation. If you're a musician or an actor, our audience needs to know how they too can get into the business. Coaches, we love our coaches. Come on and share your tips with the Misfit Nation to help them become better versions of themselves. If you are a corporate leader or an entrepreneur, come on and show how you did it and how hard you have fought for success. If you are a veteran, first responder, or Gold Star family, we would love to have you come on and share your story with the Misfit Nation. We always have time for you. If you're feeling down, alone, or starting to see the darkness, stop. Think about those who are around you. You are not alone. You will be missed. If you feel like your problems will be a burden to those in your inner circle or feel embarrassed, dial 988. If you are a veteran, take option 1. We need you to keep pushing forward. Don't make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. If you are a new listener, welcome to the Misfit Nation show. Be sure to subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast app. Also on our YouTube channel at @the_Misfit Nation. Subscribe and click the bell to keep you up to date on our latest episodes and all of our news. You can also find us on Heroes Media Group and About Face Radio. Now, let's get to the show!
All
right. The ToosDay Crue is here, hosted by Stephen LaMonica and Jake Collin. It is a Misfit Nation production that brings powerful stories of grit, resilience, and leadership to life. Stephen is a business leader and YouTube consigliere, ensures the show runs smoothly, providing real-time feedback and maintaining discipline during live broadcast. Jake, a 25-year Army veteran and former EOD tech. We call him Hurt Locker. We call him Lacey. Offers deep insights from his extensive service, which includes multiple combat deployments and VIP missions around the globe. Together, they welcome guests from diverse backgrounds to share their journeys, inspiring listeners with stories of overcoming adversity and leading with purpose. Whether you're tuning in for the insightful discussions or to enjoy Steven's passion for NASCAR or Jake's anecdotes from his farm in Kentucky, the ToosDay Crue delivers a unique blend of entertainment and inspiration every week. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ToosDay Crue! All right. You know what time it is. It's Tuesday. Tonight, as we are in Women's History Month, we want to highlight two heroes who were taken way too soon. They are Sergeant Johanny Rosario Pichardo, Sergeant Nicole L.G. Both of these young warriors were taken from us way too soon at Abbey Gate in Afghanistan through the horrible withdrawal from Afghanistan. Let's keep saying their names until those who were in charge that day feel their family's pain. Now, it's time! Reach up, pull down those shoulder straps, and get ready to be hyped by the ToosDay Crue, Cagney and Lacey. Let's get it, boys!
Hey,
that was a fantastic intro. He's getting better and better at this.
He is. It's almost like he's been doing it a minute or two.
Yeah, probably two, but yeah, good.
Hey, man, what's up with this Bell kid?
Bell. Oh, Chris Bell?
Yeah.
He's on the streak, baby. He's getting hot.
He is.
I'm looking. I'm thinking he's one of those 18-year-olds divorced 30. I really didn't realize he was that old.
I didn't either.
That's old, but NASCAR-wise, that's old.
Well,
but
me and you can still call him a kid.
Yes, definitely. We can call him. We have that ability to call him a child.
Yes, we do. So since the last time we was on, Stephen, what's been up? Done anything exciting?
Nothing exciting. No, just life. Life moving little by little down the road.
I understand.
Yeah, how about you?
No, nothing real exciting. I went to a Mexican restaurant on Sunday. First time I'd ever been there. Hands down, best food I've ever eaten.
Really?
Had me a big fat beef stuffed chili relleno, and it was amazing.
That sounds pretty damn good. My daughter's out with a friend going to a Mexican restaurant tonight because neither one of them have been to yet, so they're trying that out.
Well,
so
I hope
we'll hear about that later or tomorrow, I'm guessing.
Well, all right. Well, we'll have something to talk about next week.
Oh yeah, we'll compare notes.
Had a shootout in our fair little town today.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, no, but we'll get into that later. Hey, right now, we waiting on the line. We have a veteran, combat engineer, Joe Meisch. He's an entrepreneur and he's an innovator, and he made a device. It's called the Temple Massager device, and it's a cam therapy device that's used to treat a bunch of ailments like tension headaches, migraines, anxiety. It can do aromatherapy with it, and I guess this thing works wonders. And he's going to come on here and he's going to talk about it to us.
So what you're saying is Richie and I need to get one from when we deal with you?
I was thinking the other way around. But
welcome, Joe.
Welcome.
Pulled
Joe.
you in the middle of that. I'm sorry.
Gentlemen, thank you for having me.
Thank
It's a
you for
pleasure
being
having
here.
you. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, my
Not
pleasure.
only did you show up, you showed up early. We got to hang out and chat with you. It was pretty damn good.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
it's
was.
cool, man. It's good to be able to talk and get real with folks and share some backside stuff. As veterans, always appreciate the camaraderie and being able to share related experiences, and it builds team and help, and we get to share stuff about helping other veterans. So that's all a good thing to me.
Yes. Yes, it is. Now, before we dive in too deep, I spent a couple seconds and kind of went over who you are and what you're doing. I didn't cover very much. Why don't you take a little bit of time and start from wherever you want to start to how you got to where you are now?
Okay, right on. Thanks. So, like I kind of mentioned, I was a combat engineer, 12 Bravo, and did 13 years, Guard Reserve, bunch of TDY. And near the end of it, I was going to college, university, burning up my GI Bill, doing my thing. And I was just under a lot of stress. And so, a lot of it was eye fatigue. And I'm just one of those guys that holds my stress, my jaw musculature, my masseter muscle. And so I cracked molars and ground my teeth and started getting migraines. So I'd get an aura in my left eye, right about 45 degrees out. I'd lose my vision. And I went to the doctor and was like, "Whoa, am I having a stroke? What's going on?" And they told me, "No, you're about to have the worst headache in your life. Here, take these pills. And you got to go home." So I was dealing with a lot of tension headaches and stress headaches, or migraines and tension headaches. And literally one day, honestly, I was coming back from concert, Allman Brothers concert, and I have my sunglasses up on my head, kind of like this. And then I'm driving down the road. I'm driving all the drunks, like I'm the designated driver. Well, my eye starts tweaking out, and I'm like, "Oh, great, I'm getting a migraine." And so I just instinctively kind of pulled my glasses off, my hands on the wheel, and I start massaging my eyes, like right along here, And I got relief, and I was like, "Wow, I'm going to buy a temple massager tomorrow." And the answer was, "No, you're not," because it didn't exist. And so, I had that kind of crackle of an idea. And so I chased it. I started looking into patents, and, like I'm cut from working cloth type of background, the fabric of this nation, blue collar. And so I talked to an attorney, and they were like, "Oh, it's going to cost you, $5 or $10 to do a patent." And I'm like, "Well, I don't have $5 or $10." So they said, "Well, you better figure out how to write intelligently. And if you're going to college, then you should be able to figure it out." And so I wrote the patent, had the attorney kind of comb through it with the legalese, and got a patent on it. Couldn't believe it. And then basically 911 happened.
Yeah.
And I literally was like down in, I don't like to say Hollywood, but I was down in Hollywood writing comedy. And I had these temple massagers I'm manufacturing, and they're all made in USA. And so I'm donating to Walter Reed National Military Medical Center. They're putting the products in behavioral health, chaplain's office, and a resiliency clinic. And I'm getting letters from them. And they're telling me how it's helping and distracting. And then I get letters from Combat Commander, Fort Operating Base in Afghanistan. So this thing's literally combat tested. Like, it's kind of where it came out of, and I didn't know what I had in my hands, honestly. I was just trying to make my facial muscles relax so that I would stop having headaches. And like I said, I like to dig in under my cheekbone right there, down on my masseter muscle. And all of a sudden I'm getting all this mental health feedback. And so I didn't know fully what I had invented, frankly. And so I ended up working with people at the Veterans Administration, and they referred me to Stanford School of Medicine. This guy named Mark Abramson. He founded the Stanford School of Medicine mindfulness-based stress clinic. So I get to have a conversation with him, and I'm like, why am I getting all this mental health feedback? I'm getting calming, less anxiety. I just feel better.
Mm-hmm.
And so I drive down there, I meet him, and we talk, and I show him the temple massager, and he's like, well, Joe, your product's hitting the trigeminal nerve right here. That's why we have a hole in our skull to accommodate the passage of this trigeminal nerve. Well, it's the nerve for your whole face and your teeth. So he says, what your thing's doing is called autonomic nervous system stimulation, like getting a haircut or going and getting a massage. Well, that triggers your autonomic nervous system, and out of your mouth tumbles, that feels good, right? So you get your leg, your back is getting massaged, and it feels good. And so, that triggers what's called the relaxation response. And so he says, your thing's triggering relaxation response through autonomic nerve stimulation. And, when he told me the haircut, like, I studied geology and I work in gold mining, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't have a medical background. So he's explaining this to me in these layman's terms, which I can understand, like the haircut and the massage. And I'm like, yeah, when I get a haircut, man, it feels good, And so then kind of I start realizing at that point, man, I got a mental health tool. This is wild. I never saw that coming. And so, like I'm writing comedy, and I'm down in LA, and I worked with this great guy, Michael Weinberg, who did the David Spade show and America's Got Talent.
Mm-hmm.
And we go and pitch to Comedy Central, and I get an offer for Spike TV to buy this thing that I wrote. It's ridiculous, crazy, dirt bike, silly, funny thing. And that's a whole nother learning experience. And so I was faced with, okay, do I want to go do this TV show thing? Well, I'm getting letters from people at Walter Reed, Bethesda, NICO, Combat. I'm working with VSOs, veteran service organizations, because I've donated over 6,000 temple massagers to service members and veterans globally. So basically when I would donate, I'd put two brothers' names in there that I served with. They gave all: Private Curtis Young, Sergeant First Class Michael Ottolini, there's Susan. And so I donated in their name. So I'm wrapped up in this whole thing because I served with two guys that gave all. I'm getting letters from all these places. And I had to make a choice. And so I walked away from the TV thing. I had to. And I stuck with the temple massager thing because it was helping veterans and active duty service members.
Yeah.
And so I got a letter for everything. Like I don't talk outside of anything. I can't produce a document to back up, because I know people run their mouths these days and everybody wants to say whatever they want to say. And that's cool. Do what they want, but I'm backing it up. I bring receipts, So that's why I feel comfortable telling you all these things, So walked away from Hollywood, stuck with the temple massager, had no regrets. And then now, to wrap it up, now we're working with first responders, police, 911 dispatchers, because like dispatchers, they're looking at a wall of monitors.
Yep.
They're not looking at a computer screen like you and I look at. They got a whole wall, and then they're dealing with life and death situations because they're 911 dispatchers, right? So it's very intense. So one day I get a call. I'm at a business environment or business meeting, and I'm explaining this combat stuff, combat stress relief. This chief of police comes up to me from 250 person police force, Santa Rosa, California, hands me his card and says, "Hey, I think you got something that might help with my PTS claims." And I said, "Man, I'd love to work with you." So we end up working together. And next thing I know, like I'm there May 4th, it was a year ago, and I drop off the devices they bought, and I leave. And I got a picture with the chief and everything. Well, the next day, like 22 hours later, I get an email from the wellness unit director, the police wellness unit director. And he says, "Joe, you haven't even been gone 24 hours. Look at this email I got from a dispatcher." She goes on to say, "I was going to leave work because I had a migraine so severe. Got a temple massager from the wellness unit. I used it for 10 minutes and it relieved my migraine such that I could stay on the job." And so the wellness unit director added, he's like, "Joe, you got rid of her pain or relieved it. You kept her on the job so she didn't lose her sick leave days off. And you saved our department a staffing shortage on Cinco de Mayo, which is a holiday." And I said, "That's incredible, man." So Fast forward, I've now worked with police departments all over the U.S., and we've gotten similar feedback from, like this one was crazy, San Diego Police Department. They end up buying 50 devices. So they try it first, right? They get a sample. Yeah, I was blown away. They get a sample, and then because I want them to know what this is all about. There's not going to be any questions. I'm going to back it, support it. I'm paying the shipping. It's all on me, right? And I'm driving forward with Curtis and Mike on my shoulders, kind of how I approach things. And this is bigger than me, and I got to keep going no matter how hard it is on me. And it's hard. It ain't easy. Well, I get a letter 7 days later from San Diego police after they bought 50 of them, and it's from a unit supervisor of background investigators and child abuse detectives. And they're talking about how we got the temple massagers and everybody put them to use immediately. And they felt the mood in the entire office lifted. People were smiling and feeling better. And they said they appreciated the immediate relief. And because it's drug free, they can keep working. So it leaves people duty ready. And then, so I'm looking at this, I'm like, my God, this just keeps getting better. I've invented something that's way more powerful than I thought it was going to be. And by me helping dispatchers, that helps entire communities, because you got a dispatcher that's not going home, leaving them shorthanded. So I look at this and I'm like, man, if I can help a police 911 unit, we're helping the entire city or community by doing that. So I'll stop there. That's kind of the long-winded version of how it's taken me to get here. And, like now I'm working with the Air Force. They're looking at it for air traffic controllers because they deal with the same forces at work, like a big wall of monitors, high stress. Yeah. Well, they can't take a pill. You can't take a pill and be a police officer, dispatcher, air traffic controller. You're not duty ready if you do that.
Right.
No. And
so there's a long-winded story of how it went.
I'm anxious to get online and order one because I've had a headache since about 2004 and eat Maxalt like it's candy. And yeah, I'm ready to stop that.
Okay. Well, I hope that this can help you out. It's real simple to use. When I went into designing the thing, I mean, it kind of looks like a forked stick, and I love Susan's chiming in. That's great. She's a Navy veteran that's got a temple massager. So I wanted to make these massage tips so that they reflected, or they were similar to what like 3 fingers might feel like, right? So that's a tri-tip. And then the massage tips just come on and off. You can switch them around. I'm sorry, it's kind of blurry. I got my background blurry thing on. So you can see it's got the 3-point, but now I switched it. It's got the single point. So this single point, I envisioned it as what one finger might feel like. Like if I'm going like this, or if somebody else is doing it. And so there's another massage tip set that I don't have them right with me, but they mimic the thumb, the flat part of your thumb, and then they mimic the flat part of your palm. So they're really soft and gentle. So you want to play around with those different massage tips. And this single point is pretty aggressive, so just be careful. Like this is a turnbuckle. So that's how you turn to open and close the arms or increase or decrease the pressure. See how it's open and closing?
Okay.
So you want to open it up. I'd say use this tri-point first and then open it so it's just barely touching your head. Like, don't put it on when it's super tight. That's going to hurt, man. That's too tight, especially with these single tips. So when you get it, just open it up so it's barely touching you and then turn it to where you like that pressure, because everybody's different. There's going to be times where you want more pressure. I can tell you right now, you're going to want more pressure. Like find your cheekbone, come underneath the cheekbone and go back and forth and go up and down. And then get right down on the bottom of your masseter. That's where that masseter muscle attaches right here, and it goes up. This is the most complex joint in the human body, your temporomandibular joint. It's where your jaw connects to your head, right? Mm-hmm. So I work my jaw muscles big time. So, and then it comes with a lotion roll-up because I was using it so much. I irritated my skin. I got these big red marks. And I'm like, oh man, that's no bueno, nobody's gonna like that.
Look like you've been having electroshock therapy.
Yeah, right. It looked crazy, but I was working so hard. I got these big red marks. I'm like, okay, I have to include some kind of lotion. So I work with an apothecary out of Arizona, and she makes 100% custom lotion roll up to break that friction. And so it's made out of mango butter, shea butter, coconut oil, beeswax. And she added arnica, which is an herb for pain relief that's been around for hundreds of years. It's over the counter. And then St. John's wort. So the arnica is pain relief. And I go gold mining for a hobby. Like I go up in Sierra Nevada, go panning and all that. And my lower back's screaming by the time I'm done with the day of doing that. So I literally will put arnica on my lower back. It's amazing. And so the St. John's wort's anti-inflammatory. So if you got a bunch of stuff going on, I put the lotion right here and I put a little bit right here. And then of course you put the massager on to how you want it. And that breaks that friction, makes a huge difference by having that lotion on there. So that's, basically when you find out it hasn't been created, you got to create it, man. And I mean, A to Z. And people, it's a hard thing to come through all this manufacturing, learning plastics, learning about molds. So I got these big steel molds. And one thing I want to put out there right now for your audience, any of your networking, I've been through this process from, like I told you, an idea from my glasses coming back from Allman Brothers show. And now I'm literally selling to police departments. So I've been through the whole thing. And what I learned is a lot of people want to limit their information to you and tell you how to do things because they want you to pay them to be like a consultant. Well, I like I said, I'm a working class guy, so I don't have a bunch of money. I didn't have a bunch of money. And it was funny because investors would laugh at me. Like I had investors laugh in my face. Hey, we want to make it in China and then we'll back you. And I'm like, you don't even know what you're talking about, man. There's all kinds of problems with doing that. And that's not the cloth I'm cut from, man. So it's made in USA. And I said, keep your money. If I got to work out of a cardboard box, their problem is I'm a happy guy. So I'll be happy in a cardboard box or a mansion. It don't matter to me. I'm the same guy through and through. So I told him to kick rocks. I don't want your money. So anyway, I don't want to ramble off too far, but yeah, that's the temple massager. And we've got this mental health feedback and helping police and hopefully going to be working with air traffic controllers and the Air Force. And we got a great.
You can probably expand further than that. You can go retail workers. You can go just regular office workers.
Yeah, I'm part of these different veterans groups, and so they're trying to help me network into corporations and businesses, their wellness programs. Right. I'm glad you brought that up because that's a big point. There is about $9 billion a year in lost worker productivity in our country just from headaches. So somebody has a headache and they can't make it into work, or they got a headache and they are only functioning, part at work. So their productivity is low, or maybe they don't even show up or they have to go home from work. Point is that hurts people's businesses. Well, it doesn't matter what kind of business.
Yep.
So if we can relieve a headache, and that helps you stay on the job, well then, you're not having to take a pill, which messes you up to certain degrees. And I'm not trying to compete. I'm not telling anybody that you need to use a temple massager. Don't take your pills. I am not saying that. I'm just offering this thing as a facial musculature stimulation thing to get your facial muscles relaxed right around your eyes. There's like 200 muscles right around here. And so, if you can use a temple massager or some other tool to help you relieve your headaches and stay on the job, well, then you're going to be able to provide for your family. Your company's going to be happy. You're going to save your sick leave time from when you get the flu or you break a leg and you really need that sick leave time. I mean, it sucks to have to go home because of a headache. You're going to lose sick leave time because of a headache. That just seems really bad. You know, like people get injured. They need those days off for real injuries. So there's major loss of worker productivity just from headaches in this country. And I'm working with some of these groups to try to get into corporations, bigger companies, so they can help. I mean, I remember the people at Santa Rosa Police said, if we had lost a dispatcher, we'd either have to have somebody come on overtime on their day off, or they're going to have to stay overtime after they just finished a shift.
Mm-hmm.
So basically that costs a police department and the city $300 to $500 every time they got to replace a dispatcher. So I said, so you're telling me that if we could keep one person from going home one time a month and save your city or your police department $300 to $500, that over the course of 12 months or 1 year, that's $3,000 to $5,000. So for $150 price point, and they're only 45 on the lower price point. I sell a kit for police departments. I sell them the whole carry kit because it's got all these extra stuff. You want to keep it clean. You can throw it in a duty bag. You know, your get out bag. What's the get out bag called? Your
Go bag.
I just called it a go bag.
Your go bag. There you go. You put it in your go bag, whatever. So we're saving the money. What's the savings? If we can help you relieve a headache or jaw pain like I did, what's the savings on your stomach, liver, or kidneys because you didn't have to take a pill?
Yeah. I would love not to have to do that. And you know, like you said, the work hours saved, productivity goes up, mood in the office. Yeah, that it would definitely be worth it. Joe, we got a bunch of questions coming in.
All
We're
right.
gonna start. This first one I'm gonna pop up here is from TBI Warrior. How has the preclinical pilot study for the TBI chronic headache been progressing, and what are your hopes for its results?
Okay. So that's referred to a pilot study we had going on with Stanford School of Medicine Neuroscience in Palo Alto, VA. And we got partial data on our abstract from that. And then COVID hit. And so all of our researchers got scattered and it stopped our pilot study. But I am now re-engaged with another PhD, a physiopsychologist at UCSF. They're the second highest rated medical university in the country. And that's Dr. Sabra Inslick. She also works in PTS at San Francisco Veterans Administration. And we're also engaged with another doctor, John McQuaid at Palo Alto Veterans Administration. And so we are looking for funding to fund a small pilot study on the temple massager. So in other words, we're trying to pick up where we left off on that original pilot study. But our preliminary data was positive. They were looking at it for headache relief and a sleep aid. So that gets into the facial muscle tension relief. Mm-hmm. And the sleep aid is that calming effect. So when you're getting autonomic nerve stimulation, like a haircut or massage, or maybe you're using the temple massager, there's other things that trigger that. If you use it right before you go to bed, well, your brain, the brain chemistry characterized by the relaxation response is increased dopamine, endorphins, and serotonin. Mm-hmm. And so this is just medical literature stuff that's out there. And so it was all explained to me that, hey, your thing's triggering relaxation response. So that's increasing dopamine, endorphins, and serotonin. Again, you just got a massage, you kind of walk out of there, you feel good, maybe a little bit lightheaded. You're just inclined to say, man, I feel good. You know, my shoulders are back or whatever feels better. So that's calming. So if you could get that kind of a position before you go to sleep, well, isn't that the best way to go to sleep, when you're calm and you're relaxed and you're distracted, like Susan mentioned? And I know the aromatherapy is that's called olfactory nerve. So as you can see, I have a very large olfactory nerve.
I'm with you.
So people might call it a schnoz. Okay, whatever. I'm just kidding. So when you're breathing aromatherapy, like especially when it's, what they would say proximal, like right here, well, it's just like a few inches from my nose. If you're practicing deep breathing, you're lowering your blood pressure. So if you're inclined to breathe deep because you're getting that aromatherapy, then you're lowering your blood pressure. You're getting that aromatherapy. That's very distractive. So if you're locked into a negative thought because you've had some trauma in your past, and, my buddy Curtis drowned on me. I was 20-year-old private in the Army, and he still is with me. I was haunted by it for a little while, but now he's with me and helping me produce the temple massager results for other people. So if you can distract away from negative intrusive thoughts, then that's a big help to try to get some rest or get some sleep. So we're restarting a pilot study. We might be working with VA staff down at Palo Alto. We're engaged with Los Angeles County Fire Department because of what they just went through. All those first responders just went through hell. So we're going to be possibly working with fire departments. We just worked with San Francisco Fire Department, and the feedback I got from them was through their behavioral health person was, Joe, my admin people are fighting over the use of the temple massager. So I said, all right.
More than one.
Well, buy more.
I got them 3. I donated almost $500 worth of temple massagers down there. So they got 3. So
Nice.
they're going to refer us to Los Angeles County Behavioral Health. And so, okay, I'll stop there. I hope that answered that question.
It did.
And
TBI Warrior, thank you for that question. Got another one here. And this here is from the Innovator Apprentice. What are some of the biggest challenges you faced turning your idea into a patented, commercially available product?
Well, there's a lot of challenges. Great question. So first of all, for me, I'm really grateful for the Army to afford me the GI Bill because that helped me pay for my college. And so for me to have those tools available through knowledge to learn how to learn, really, because you got to know how to learn to go to these academic institutions. I wasn't the brightest guy academically in high school or junior college. So for me, it was a little tougher. But yeah, right on. We're the same boat. So being flexible in your mind to learn new industries or new things. So first challenge was, how do you get the patent? They are expensive. You got about maybe a 75% chance of failure, right?
Mm-hmm.
In this country, new businesses fail after 2 years. Well, those aren't really encouraging statistics, fellas.
No, they're not.
So you got about a 70 to 80% failure rate on getting a patent. Well, because I was giving it away before I had the patent, I was getting feedback that told me it was helping with folks. Like I said, Walter Reed, Behavioral Health, Chaplain's Office, Resiliency Clinic. I got a bunch of thank you letters from Walter Reed. That's why I'm totally comfortable saying what I'm saying. So I knew it was working. And then the guy from Stanford, Mark Abramson, he helped me understand why it's working. Autonomic and olfactory nerve stimulation, aromatherapy, massage, right? They're interchangeable words. One's medical oriented, one's man on the street oriented. Mm-hmm. So to get the patent, I met with a patent attorney. And like I said, he was like, you're going to have to write this yourself. And then I'll comb through it. And it'll cost you half. So I had to be smart enough to look at all these other patents that were a product-oriented patent. And then that put me in the framework of the way they were writing the patent so that I could supplant my temple massager copy or my language, my text, into that somebody else's patent. I was kind of boilerplating my information into it.
Okay.
So it was a lot of sitting at home after doing construction and reading medical papers, reading patents, teaching myself. And I did it. And then I had a certified patent attorney work with me on all that. That patent only cost me about $5,000, which is on the cheaper end of the stick, let me tell you.
Yeah.
So that was hurdle number one. And I paid for that with construction money. Like I said, I was getting laughed at and embarrassed, humiliated by investors because they looked at this like dumb, So that was a huge challenge. And then it was trying to find manufacturers. And so with everything, I want to put this out there right now. With everything I've learned, I want your audience to know that I'm free. I want to give people for free what I learned, because there's people out there, they'll charge you for it. Hey, come in and give us a consulting fee of whatever, $100 an hour or whatever it was, and I'll give you little bits of information to get you moving. Well, I happen to be grateful enough to the Army to get a college degree so I can learn. And you don't have to have a college degree to do this. You can learn on your own, but you got to be curious.
Mm-hmm.
So, the college degree ain't the end all be all. There's a lot of personality that is involved in your drive and what's your motivation. And do you want to work at night after you work? And it ain't fun. I'm telling you, man. But that's cool because I'm used to missing things from my previous life of being in the military. You miss a lot of things. It was worth it. I was committed. Every fiber of my being was into this because I saw it helping. So I'm free. If anybody wants to contact me, my email is joe@templemassager.com.
Joe@templemassager.com.
Yes, sir. And so I'd be happy to turn you on to my engineer, who happens to be an Air Force vet. And you can work with him. He might charge you some stuff. So I'm just telling you, heads up. But he's rock solid good. He knows what he's doing. He used to maintain fleets of C5s, A10s, Warthogs. This guy's very smart. And so I've got manufacturers I could turn you on to. If you actually get to the point where you got a mold, I can advise you on patenting. I got a great patent attorney. And all that information I will give free to your audience because I want to help my brother and sister veterans create an idea that they may have, and there's a lot of process in that patenting thing. You got to go out there and look for something that's close to it because patents are really abstract and they might say, oh, well, this product already exists. Well, it don't look like mine. Well, it's still covered in artwork, so they would say. So anyway, I'm free. I hope I can help other veterans maybe flesh out an idea, maybe see if it's viable. Go do a patent search. I can tell you how to do all that, put you in touch with patent search attorneys, and then all the way through prototyping, mold building. I've got engineers and manufacturers. I'll give you their names and numbers.
All right. Well, hey, thank you. Innovator Apprentice, I hope that answered your question, and thank you for that question. That was a good question. You have covered this, but Vilma Moreno wants to know, does this help for migraines?
Okay, good question. First of all, I want to be really clear. We don't have a pilot study completed yet. So I don't want to go out and say, yes, absolutely it will, because I can't do that. I want to be fair. I want to be transparent. Once I have that pilot study done, that efficacy, and we're trying to find the money for our funding for research just disappeared. So if there's anybody out there that's got a lot of money and they want to donate for a pilot study, come talk to me. I will put you in touch with our research PhD. So I have letters. I think I sent these to Rich. I've got a bunch of letters from police departments and tons of testimonials. People talk about it relieving their migraines. And so that's called anecdotal data. I can share that publicly, no problem. I hear people telling me that all the time. Like I started this off telling you about Santa Rosa Police Department. Their dispatchers were talking about a migraine relief. So I can tell you there are people out there that are police dispatchers, police officers, detectives, investigators, fire department, that they've written to me that it is helping relieve their migraines. So I want to put it out there cautiously because I don't want to promise anything. Once we get the pilot study, then I can go out there and wave that banner around and share that abstract and that data. Then it's a lot more rock solid. So I will say it may be able to help you with your migraines. I don't want to overpromise and make a liar out of myself, but there's a lot of documents I can share. They're on my website, templemassager.com, that you can go look at that information.
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to end up getting one. And if it helps me with my migraines, I will shout it from the rooftops.
Amen, brother. I hope it helps you at a personal level, but I will accept that help because I need the help. I'm still the Army grunt veteran entrepreneur that's still trying to get this up and going. I mean, we got great things going. I'm working with unbelievable. I just got a letter from, or I'm about to get a letter. I talked to Reno police. Well, here's kind of funny. Reno 911. Literally, I'm not kidding either, man. Like I cold call these police departments. I'm like, hey, can I offer you some letters from other police departments? Well, Reno 911, that's Joanna, their communications director. She said, I pushed this through our leadership, and we were told that we don't have any money for this for our dispatchers. I got 2 dispatchers that deal with chronic headaches. Might be migraine, tension, maybe both. Well, I just talked to her today, and I said, a couple months ago, I said, I'm going to donate one. You went through the process. You're taking this seriously. You got 2 dispatchers that can help. I'm giving you one for free. So I gave her one. It's been about 2 months. She told me today or yesterday that I'm putting a letter together for you with our testimonies. Well, that's powerful stuff coming from police departments, man. They don't have time to play around. They don't have time for gimmicks, games, things that don't work. And to get that letterhead on a police department, that's ultimate credibility, man. Like when I got that letter from a combat commander from Afghanistan, come on, man. You guys know the combat commander ain't got no time to play around with anything or put his credibility on the line.
Nope.
I donated 6,000 temple massagers on my construction dime because I got love and compassion for my brothers and sisters, and it's Curtis and Mike that drove me on. So I get that feedback. I know it's real.
Good deal. Got another question here from Mission Mindset. You've been donating temple massagers for 14 years. What drives you to keep giving back? And I think you've answered that. And what impact have you seen on the veteran community?
Okay, I want to give you a real quick story on that. Look, man, you know what? I did 13 years. It's long enough to take it seriously, right? I didn't just do 4 years and get in and out. I don't care. I don't give a shit now. I've seen a lot of men go through a lot of things that I was right there with. I was not in combat, but I got a lot of friends that were, and I lost friends in combat. And so it just pulls my heartstrings to see people going through stuff that war causes. And I'm a grateful person. I'm happy by nature. And so for me to have something that I thought was a great idea that can help another man or woman, I feel like it's my duty as a person and as a veteran to help other veterans with what I have. And I know that people are like, oh, the pharmaceutical company's going to hate you. Like, hate all you want. You ain't stopping me. And there ain't no man or woman strong enough.
I got something for Big Pharma.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and guess what that is. So I'm like, you know what? There's no man or woman or company strong enough to stop me from donating temple massagers. And if that's all I end up getting to do, well, then I'm grateful to my God for having the creativity. I'm grateful to the Army to give me the training I was a combat engineer, essayons. Let us try. That's it, baby. Our motto was Semper Liberantes, always working. Man, I get fired up when I start thinking in those terms and those conditions.
Yep.
And that gives me that team. I'm in it for a team. I'm in it for the veterans, man. I got served with 2 friends at Cave Hall. I am not giving up. I'm a papered son of the American Revolution. I got family members that fought the British with the Massachusetts militia. They were the first colony to fight. I'm a fighter. It's through my genes. It's in the fabric of my being. So if I got a tool that's going to help people, then I got to give everything I got in me to help people. And it's veterans first. It always has been. It's because of Curtis and Mike. And so quick, perfect example of that. My local vet center is ran by Mike Ergo, veteran, Marine Corps veteran. And I go down there from time to time. Like if I have a bunch of sales, I can afford to donate because I got to pay the manufacturer.
Yep.
And so it costs me money to do this. So I got to be careful when and how I donate. Well, recently I had some sales and I called Mike and the vet center and I donated 2 more. And I called about a week later. Hey, did you get them? He's like, did we get them? We already gave them out, man. So Mike told me this story a couple years ago. Mike calls me up and says, Joe, I have discovered a new use for your temple massager. And I said, what's that, Mike? He says, do you know what MST is? And I said, I do not. He said, it's military sexual trauma. And I'm like, oh, man. Like when I deal with things with this community, I take it seriously, man. It's heavy.
Mhm.
Okay. And I got to give it all I got when you're dealing with heavy. So Mike says, I said, Mike, how does this help with military sexual trauma? He says, look, I run the vet center. I work with people that are dealing with PTS, mental health issues. They're struggling. Part of that is military sexual trauma. So these people that have unfortunately experienced the horrific nature of that kind of a situation, they cannot go get a massage. You and I, we can just go get a massage and we're cool. Well, for somebody that's been through an MST, they're not going to get a massage anymore. You know what they're dealing with? They're in a room alone with somebody that they don't know that's putting their hands on them. Well, what do you think that's going to do to them?
Yeah.
That's going to trigger them.
Yeah.
So Mike tells me, I gave your temple massages you donated to, now we're getting it. There's some juices flowing there, folks. This is emotional. So he says, I give your temple massager to some of my people, and they go home and they lock their doors, they close their windows, they check whatever security check they need to check, and then they use your temple massager, and they can get that relaxation response, that
Awesome.
that relief, that feeling that you might get after getting a massage or haircut. You follow me?
I follow you. And that's amazing.
I have that in a letter from Mike. Like, again, I don't say anything I don't got a letter from. And so for me, I feel like I'm doing my creator's work, frankly.
Yes. I mean, to help people out of pain, whether it's emotional, physical, and like you said, if, that could keep somebody from having to go home and, take a handful of pills every night, and something that's very near and dear to our heart, if they get some relief, they might have been on the edge and thinking about, not being here tomorrow. Put one on that relaxes them, that kind of resets them. And, maybe they show up to work the next day and don't decide to end it all. And that's kind of what we're all about here.
Yeah.
And Mission Mindset. Thank you for that question. We got another one popped up. Stephen and Jake, what was the toughest interview you've done so far on the ToosDay Crue, and what did you learn from it?
Is that to you guys or to me?
That's to us.
Yeah, okay.
That's to us. And
I can tell the toughest interview that I did. I interviewed a fellow soldier who I've known a long time, and I think it was for we was remembering Veterans Week, and me and him have seen a lot of our brothers go, and that one there was a tough one. And what I learned from it is I felt better after talking about it. And if you talk about those issues, and you get them out there, it share them with somebody, and it'll help relax you. It'll help get them off your mind. And it makes if you're carrying all this weight alone, if you share it with somebody else, you've got somebody else to pack that weight with you. And that's what I learned out of that. Your turn, Stephen.
I can't think of anyone that was really actually very hard. We've had a lot of different people we talked to. I don't think there was one actually very hard for me personally. That I know that one was hard for you. I remember that interview. I felt that one, but I haven't had any that just got me like that. No, I'm sorry. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Okay. Well, thank you for that question. Okay. Crew fanatic. Hey, I like that. Guys, how do you decide when to keep the conversation lighthearted and fun versus diving into serious topics during your interview?
And that's just how the interview goes sometimes. Sometimes it's lighthearted. Sometimes it's let's get head in there and do what we got to do. The conversation with Joe tonight, talking about all these people he's helping and how it's helping. That's one way, just jumping right in. That's what we've been doing all night tonight. Talking about that product and how it helps people and how it's going to keep helping people.
Yeah, and for those out there, this is totally unscripted. Me and Steven and our guest, we come in here each Tuesday. It's cold. I don't know how we make it work, but we do.
It's the gift of gab. It's basically how the show runs.
it's the ToosDay Crue magic.
Yeah. And
you're doing great. I love being on the show with you guys, man. You guys are doing great.
Hey, we love having you, and I tell you what, I am looking forward to this. And I got one more question up here from Bombs and Booze. As leaders yourselves, how do you balance sharing your own experiences with giving guests like Joe the space to share theirs? Well, thank you for that question, Bombs and Booze. It's their show. We're just here facilitating. We are here for the guest to get their information out, to either sell their product, get good information out to our listeners, and share their story. We're just here to facilitate it, ask questions, and
right. And look, Joe's talking. He's helping military. He's helping fire. He's on police. That's why I threw in. What about retail workers? Because that's me, baby. And when I get a headache at work, that just makes me scream at people more. I don't go home. I work through it, and I just scream more.
Yeah.
And that's how you got to deal with things sometimes.
Lights can affect people. Like I remember when I was in college, the long tube fluorescent lights, man, they would kill my eyes after like half the class. I'm sitting there going like this. So there's all kinds of things that can irritate us and cause problems. For me, it's lighting.
For me, sometimes it's the public.
Yeah, buddy. Can I tell you another story? You got time?
Yeah, we do. While we're at it, I popped your website up there for anybody that's on there. But yeah, go ahead. We got a few minutes. Tell it.
Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, I'm glad you put that 20% off code. I want to help folks, man. So and just on that point, I've had a lot of medical people say to me, you're only charging $45 or $145. You can get way more. And I'm like, I know, but you know what? I'm a working class guy. I'm cut from the fabric of blue collar here. Okay. So I got to keep it so it's affordable to folks that are like me, that are working class. So maybe after we get the pilot study, I'll go ahead and charge a bunch more, get into that insurance whole realm of things. But I'm always going to make it affordable to working man or woman because that's me. So, okay, cool story. Power of the veteran here. I like telling this one. So I'm down doing the Hollywood TV thing. I'm on the Sony studio a lot. I'm working with Michael Weinberg, great guy, super cool guy. And he's really appreciative. He's like, I'm glad you're a veteran. I don't get to work with veterans down here in TV land, Hollywood and all that. My dad was a B-17 Daylight bomber pilot. And so I like that you're a veteran, Joe. And I'm like, Michael, that's great, dude. I appreciate that. You're a big time Hollywood guy and all that. And you're being kind to me and you're giving a working guy a shot. So we go to Comedy Central in Century City to do the pitch to Comedy Central. And it was after 9/11. So they're checking IDs real hard at this counter before you go into the building, go up to the offices. And so I got disrupted because something happened the night before. And I left my wallet with my ID back at the apartment. And I'm like, I'm in line with Michael and I'm doing this pat down thing. Like, where's my wallet? Oh my God, no way. Where's my wallet? Michael sees me and he says, did you forget your ID? And I'm like, oh my God. And he says, well, you just blew your opportunity, man. Like he was mad at me, like I blew this simple thing. And I said, stay in line. stay in line. And he wants to get out of line to go to the counter. I said, just stay in line. Because I'm like, make him kick me out. If that's what's going to happen, you're going to go through with it. I got news for you, sweetheart. You are going to kick me out. And so I'm like, okay, we get the counter. Well, up at the counter, a guy lapel got a Marine Corps pen. So I said, hey, Semper Fi, brother. And he's like, Semper Fi. I'm like, I was an engineer in the Army, Semper Liberantes, always working, brother. And he says, you were an engineer? I'm like, yeah. He's like, man, you guys had all the fun blowing stuff up. And I was a cannon cocker. I was in artillery, and we start talking about that. And so without skipping a beat and stopping or changing the canter of my conversation, I said, yeah, it was fun, a little scary, but it was fun. I had a good time. And you know what, brother? I got this meeting because I got a comedy show. I wrote this really ridiculous, silly thing, and I forgot my ID at my buddy's house. And he said, he looks at me and it's quiet. Michael's sitting there all quiet, got his ID out. And the guy says, well, you know what? You're going to have a great meeting today at Comedy Central, Joe. Your elevator's right there to your left. We turn, we walk away, we go to the elevator, we're getting there. Michael turns to me and he says, I don't know anybody in Hollywood that I've been here 25 years that could do what you just did. What the hell is that? I said, that's the power of the brotherhood and sisterhood of being a veteran, my man.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Well, hey, we are out of time.
All right.
I tell you what, Joe, really enjoyed it. We had a great time. Misfit Nation, thank you for joining the ToosDay Crue, and we love you. And don't forget to like and share.
Yes, Joe. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Sorry we missed a bunch of questions, but we'll get to that.
Have me back on, man. Have me back on. I'll give you an update in a couple months.
Great.
Hey, look,
Joe.
Hey, we'll have you on after we see you on Shark Tank.
This is a message from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Got a question about your VA benefits, healthcare, or eligibility? Go to va.gov, where you can access a new interactive chatbot to ask questions 24/7. One can still browse va.gov for information, but you can now ask specific questions to the chatbot, like what's the PACT Act? How do I apply for disability benefits? What's my claim status? You can access the new feature through va.gov's Contact Us page. Then click on the Start Chat button. The chatbot will continue to improve veterans' access to information about the benefits and services they've earned. This is one way.
Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the Misfit Nation show. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. That's themisfitnation.com. Check out all our past episodes and get some of the great Misfit Nation gear for you and your family. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling because we are
Misfit Nation. Misfit Nation.